Okay, let's unpack this. We're jumping into a deep dive today, looking at the material you shared about a really interesting project, the Rise Protocol LP album release.
That's the one. It's a full techno album by an artist named Mutlu Yiğit, who goes by MTL Sound.
Right, MTL Sound. And we've got, well, a few different sources here, some web stuff, a YouTube transcript, music platform detail.
Really still giving us pieces of the puzzle.
So our mission really is to pull out the key details, the themes, the creative process behind it all.
Yeah.
Especially how it mixes music, tech, and maybe a personal angle.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like a unique blend, judging by the info we have.
It seems like it.
Yeah.
So where should we start? Maybe the name? MTL Sound.
Good idea. So the sources tell us it's, well, obviously derived from his initials, Mutlu Yiğit MTL.
Makes sense.
But there's another layer mentioned too, music, technology, and lyrics, which kind of spells out the project's core elements right there.
Ah, interesting. Music, technology, lyrics. And that connects straight to his background, doesn't it? The sources say he started with lyrics way back, but then AI and digital tech really influenced his path.
Precisely. You see this convergence, his early creative side meeting this, well, technological wave.
And that directly shaped Rise Protocol, it seems.
Yeah.
The album itself released June 2025, a 13-track full techno LP. That's quite substantial.
13 tracks, yeah. It's a solid body of work. And not just one style either. The sources mention it has layers tracks in English, some in German, and purely instrumental ones too.
Okay, German tracks. That feels deliberate in a techno context.
I think so. The sources hint it's a nod to Germany being, the heartland of techno. So it grounds these futuristic themes in the genre's history.
Right. Good point. And speaking of themes, they sound pretty compelling. Digital consciousness, system protocols, internal resistance, heavy stuff, wrapped in futuristic sounds.
Definitely. And that YouTube transcript you mentioned has some powerful lines that seem to capture it. Things like coded with feeling or wanting it to sound like a machine protocol or AI.
Yeah, and that one line, a signal in silence, a rhythm in the dark. I am not just gold. I am the echo of impact. I am empty sound born to break the noise.
Yeah.
Wow. That really paints a picture of the struggle inside the machine, maybe.
It really does. It feels like the core tension the album explores, which brings up the, how did he bring these complex ideas, mixing tech and internal stuff, to life?
Good question. Did the sources talk about the process?
They did. AI comes up repeatedly, significantly. Apparently, Mutlu sees AI not just as like a production tool, but explicitly as a creative partner.
A partner. That's interesting phrasing. How does that partnership work according to the material? Does it specify what the AI actually does?
Well, it indicates Mutlu handles the lyrics, music writing, the production, but AI is integrated into that. It doesn't give a full technical breakdown, but calling it a partner suggests something more maybe interactive, like a feedback loop perhaps, rather than just hitting generate.
Okay, so less automation, more collaboration.
Yeah.
Given his background in creative tech and AI music, that makes sense. He'd be comfortable working with it.
Exactly. It seems deeply embedded in his workflow.
And the result of this human-AI team-up is out there for people to hear, right? Rise Protocol is on Spotify?
Yep. Spotify, Deezer, Apple Music, YouTube Music. The sources lists the main ones. It says it's on all digital platforms.
Digital platforms, okay.
And interestingly, they even note the tracks are in libraries for social media, use Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. So really aiming for broad digital presence.
That's smart distribution these days. And you can almost feel the themes just from the track names listed on Spotify, like Boot Sequence Intro, Alles im Kopf, everything in the head.
Right, and no escape, Bewusstsein consciousness.
Rise Protocol. The title track, Neurowave, Echo remains outro. They definitely fit that digital, internal, somewhat resistant vibe we talked about.
Absolutely. The titles reinforce the whole concept.
And the sources briefly mention his other work, too. Something about AI art and nature visuals.
Yeah, it seems he keeps that creative vein going. And there was a quick mention, like a teaser, about maybe a Turkish album coming up, focused on robots and emotions, apparently.
Robots and emotions. Another tech meets feeling project. Sounds like a theme for him.
It seems so.
Okay, so let's sort of recap this deep dive then. We've looked at Mutlu Yiğit's journey, the meaning baked into MTL Sound, the specifics of Rise Protocol, 13 techno tracks, June 2025, multilingual, themes of digital consciousness, resistance.
It's wide availability on Spotify and all those platforms, the track names reflecting the core ideas.
And crucially, this idea of AI as a creative partner, not just a tool, shaping the whole thing.
Right. And looking at projects like this, well, it really gives you a window into how diverse backgrounds and new technologies are actively reshaping how art gets made today.
For sure.